He had become a celebrity. There is no question. One of the richest people on the planet, and certainly one of the youngest rich people on the planet.
He was on the cover of Fortune this year being compared to Warren Buffett.
30-year-old billionaire Sam Bankman-Fried, better known as SBF, saw a meteoric rise as crypto's golden boy.
The more time I spent with Sam, the smarter I felt that he was.
My goal is to be able to donate almost everything that I make.
A seemingly altruistic billionaire looking to have a big impact.
I don't give a shit about my legacy. I care about the impact that I have.
He struck me as somebody that was really trying to do something transformative.
Which is why the crypto scandal that engulfed him shocked the world.
News overnight, Sam Bankman-Fried is now in custody in the Bahamas.
His $32 billion cryptocurrency exchange, FTX, goes bankrupt in a matter of days. $8.9 billion in customer funds are missing.
I thought he was the Mark Zuckerberg of crypto. Is he now the Bernie Madoff of crypto?
Top minds on Wall Street, Silicon Valley venture capitalists, A-list celebrities, and millions of crypto traders flocked to FTX, trusting Bankman-Fried with their money.
I lost over $2 million on the FTX platform when it went down.
Now FTX customers who lost millions are sharing their stories.
It's really, really sad. Really sad. Not only how it's affected me, but how it's affected millions of people globally.
Investors who gave FTX tens of millions in capital are speaking out. So you feel betrayed?
Oh, 1,000%. I'm betrayed and disappointed.
And the former president of FTX US, who resigned less than 2 months before its collapse, tells all.
What Sam did was old-fashioned financial fraud.
So far, all anyone has from Bankman-Fried is an apology.
I'm deeply sorry about what happened.
And customers want answers.
I'd never lost that much money in that amount of time before.
This was probably one of the most scariest times, ever.
I am definitely pissed at SBF. This was an entrepreneur who could have done really great things.
How did it all go so spectacularly wrong?
I'm not going to revise history. I liked him and trusted him.
How could so many have been fooled?
With an entity like FTX, there were clearly glaring red flags beyond any that I'd ever seen before.
And will his customers ever get their money back?
I'm in quite a big hole right now. I'm probably going to have to file for bankruptcy.
A stone's throw from the turquoise water and pristine beaches in the Bahamas, Sam Bankman-Fried sets up FTX headquarters in Nassau. What was the actual headquarters like?
They had 3 or 4 what effectively looked like suburban office buildings that they were conjoining. It looked like a very large trading floor, not too dissimilar to what you would see on Wall Street.
In less than 2 years, this little office park in the Bahamas becomes home to one of the largest cryptocurrency exchanges in the world, built by traders for traders.
The platform worked. It was probably the best platform out there in terms of user experience.
More than 5 million users flocked to the exchange, according to FTX, and they were trading big money.
We have $10–15 billion of daily trading volume on the platform.
From Wall Street to Silicon Valley, some of the smartest money becomes desperate to get in on the action.
And he was an industry leader and a first mover in cryptocurrency exchanges. He had a big vision for the future, and he was minting money.
Investments in FTX pour in, totaling nearly $2 billion.
I think their impression was Sam was the ideal tech founder who had landed on a gold mine. He had this way of making everyone really want him to succeed. He was this person who was incredibly smart. He was ambitious.
He was well pedigreed. He had gone to MIT. His parents were Stanford University professors. He had worked at Jane Street, an organization that everybody on Wall Street respects. And so that combination of things is a pretty interesting thing.
For retail trader Sunil Kavuri, who's worked in traditional finance at Morgan Stanley and JP Morgan, hearing about these investments gave FTX major street cred.
He raised significant amount of funds, about $900 million from Sequoia, Paradigm. And I thought, okay, this is a very safe, institutionally backed exchange.
Kavuri moves millions to the exchange. Crypto enthusiast Evan Luthra does the same.
100%. I was aware about all the VCs that I invested in FTX, and that is also built a lot of trust.
Seemingly out of nowhere, Bankman-Fried and FTX start becoming the biggest names in crypto.
This is a tale as old as time to some degree. Some young, charismatic guy in Bermuda shorts with the floppy hair charmed the 20 best investors in the world.
The young billionaire crypto titan's overnight success featured in magazines and on TV.
Thanks for having me.
In the otherwise secretive world of crypto, where the owners of exchanges are camera shy, Bankman-Fried stands out, welcoming the publicity.
I would say it definitely played a little bit of a role that we knew who was actually behind FTX.
I think what really gave him credibility was the exponential profits he was making for the investors and the billions of dollars he was throwing around like Monopoly money.
The co-founder of FTX is spending millions promoting the exchange with high-profile celebrity endorsement deals to bring in more and more customers.
It became an obsession. More sports teams, more sports celebrities, different kinds of properties that we could put our name on.
NFL superstar Tom Brady becomes an investor and is featured in FTX commercials.
FTX is the safest and easiest way to buy and sell crypto.
Comedian Larry David stars in a Super Bowl ad that cost millions.
FTX, it's a safe and easy way to get into crypto.
I don't think so.
The marketing works.
For FTX, the first time I heard about it was on the Super Bowl ads. So I was like, oh my goodness, there's all these big name people utilizing FTX.
All the A-list names associated with FTX gives customers the impression there's been ample due diligence done on the exchange.
Did the celebrities make me feel more comfortable about using FTX? Personally, it did.
But in reality, everyone involved is gambling on the success of FTX and placing their trust in its founder.
Remember, when you're talking about a venture capitalist, or you're talking about a risk taker with capital, you're going to go 1 for 10, you're going to go 1 for 15. And in that 1, you may find the Google or the Facebook. And so Sam was one of those 1 for 15 or 1 for 20.
But customers placing their faith in the exchange have much more to lose.
The money was meant to be used for buying a house. I don't have that anymore.
I own this condo. I've owned it for 6 years. I don't want to just have to part with it.
And in November of 2022, the entire operation unravels in just a few days. The implosion of FTX begins in the suburbs of Chicago. Nick Baker, the editor-in-chief at CoinDesk, a crypto news website, is working from home when one of his reporters reaches out with a story.
Ian Allison, our reporter, started hearing Alameda, this trading firm owned by Sam Bankman-Fried, may not be on the most solid financial footing. Ian heard this from a source. As a journalist, you hear a tip, and that's great, but the challenge is, well, then how do you prove that?
They confirm the tip with a leaked copy of Alameda's balance sheet.
What the document showed was that in a very powerful way that there was a very strong financial entanglement between these two companies.
Their article goes live on November 2nd, exposing for the first time that nearly half of the $14.6 billion in assets on the balance sheet of Bankman-Fried's secretive crypto hedge fund were listed as FTT tokens, a digital currency Bankman-Fried and his co-founders created for FTX customers back in 2019.
That's a red flag potentially, because it tells you that so much of this empire is supported on the foundation of money that comes from a sibling company.
To better understand why that revelation leads to the collapse of FTX, you need some background on FTT.
The FTT token is basically the token for the platform FTX.
The benefits you get from the FTT token is you get reduction in trading fees.
I invested about $200,000 in the FTT token.
SBF would regularly show that he was personally buying FTT token, so I held it.
When FTT first hits the market in July of 2019, a token costs around $2. By 2021, it skyrocketed to nearly $80. And in November of 2022, it's trading around $22.
The idea was to give people almost like an equity-like stake in FTX.com if you were someone outside the US.
But Harrison and FTX customers say they didn't know the FTT token was not widely distributed, which is key to having the market determine its price.
A substantial portion of all the FTT tokens in existence were sitting on the balance sheet of Alameda.
According to the criminal complaint, SBF engineered the price of FTT by directing Alameda to buy large amounts of the token to maintain its price. And that creates a huge problem. Alameda could not have sold its billions of dollars of FTT tokens without crashing its price.
Their presence there's such a substantial presence on that balance sheet was a suggestion that perhaps this is a house of cards.
To make matters worse, Alameda began using it as collateral to obtain billions of dollars in loans from third-party lenders, leaving Alameda exposed to significant financial risks, according to the complaint. And by the summer of 2022, several of Alameda's major lenders go bankrupt after a $2 trillion crash in the crypto markets.
It was probably an opportunity for Sam to say, wow, I just got smoked out alongside of Terra Luna and Celsius and Three Arrows. I'm shutting down Alameda, and I'm going to focus all my energy on FTX. I think if he had done that, I don't think we'd be in this situation.
Instead, at the direction of Bankman-Fried, Alameda greatly increased its usage of FTX customer funds to meet its external debt obligations, according to the CFTC. FTX customers are completely in the dark about what's happening with their money. Their first indication there could be problems at FTX happens on November 6th. 4 days after the CoinDesk article reveals the billions of dollars worth of FTT tokens on Alameda's balance sheet, one of FTX's biggest investors gets spooked. The CEO of Binance, the world's largest cryptocurrency exchange, who goes by his initials CZ, makes an announcement in a tweet to his 7 million followers saying, "We have decided to liquidate any remaining FTT on our books."
And recently, with the news of them becoming insolvent, carried by CoinDesk first, we just said, well, we want to sell those tokens. That's all we did.
The single tweet from CZ is enough to make some customers panic.
A lot of market participants were getting spooked and were withdrawing the money.
We're seeing a run on the bank start, and that was leading to $4 billion a day of client withdrawals. At that point, we started calling prospective sources of financing because I was nervous.
But publicly, Bankman-Fried is telling customers a different story. On November 7th, he tweets, "A competitor is trying to go after us with false rumors. FTX is fine, assets are fine."
SBF came on Twitter and then he said, "A competitor is attacking us. We do not take client deposits and we don't invest them in anything, even treasuries." So I think